Today, we're going to be looking at two free ways to set up Notebook, aka OpenClaw, aka ClaudeBot. All right, so there's two different ways so we can set this up for free with the brand new update that just came out a couple of days ago. And I'm going to be running through exactly how to set this up. All right, so you can get free access to OpenClaw via the GitHub right here. And if we take the details from the GitHub, I'm just going to uninstall it and then create a fresh install. So I'm just going to say how to uninstall this. Then we're going to open up the terminal in the meantime, and we shall delete our previous install of this. Obviously, I'm not recommending that for everyone. I'm just doing it so that I can show you a fresh install from scratch. And we'll get this started. All right, so we should be good to go now. What we're going to do from here is begin to set this up. And one of the things that I get a lot from people is like, it costs too many tokens to run. It runs out of tokens, blah blah blah. So today you're going to see like two free ways to really use this and learn how to use it properly. All right. So we'll come on to that in a second. Will T says, "Greetings, Julian. Good to see you here, Will T. Thanks for joining again." And now we're going to run through the setup, right? Now, when you're running through the quick start, like you can see here, there's two free ways you can use this. So there's a couple of ways. Number one is you can use Minimax OAuth with 2.1, or you can also use something called Kimi Moonshot, right? So it's by Moonshot AI, and you can use something called Kimi K2.5 to run this as well. However, you would not select the Moonshot AI from this, and I'll tell you why in a second, all right? So first thing that we're going to do is run through the Minimax OAuth system, and OAuth literally just means you don't use an API key to log in. To log in with the OAuth means you just click a button and you can log in that way instead. Trilla Chan says, hello to you too, sir. And we're going to click on OAuth here. Then we'll click on global. And what this will do is open up a page like this where we can authorize our login. And what this can actually do is then generate API keys on our behalf. Okay, so we can click on enter and authorize now, as you can see. Then we'll go back to the terminal, and you can see here that we can run Minimax. Now you can choose the model manually. I'm going to go with the current, which is Minimax 2.1, and we'll just run with that. All right. From there, you can then select however you want to use it. So you could connect it to Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, Google Chat, even Slack, Signal, etc. Or you can just use the gateway, which is what I'm going to do in a second. All right. So if we skip that for now, if you want a voice chat with it as well, you can also use something called 11 Labs. This topic says, hey, Julian, does Anthropic OAuth still work? I wouldn't recommend using OAuth. Instead, just use this method that I'm showing you. The reason that I wouldn't recommend OAuth is like some people got their account shut down and they said, it's because of OAuth with Anthropic. And I know that Anthropic have said to Clawbot already to change their name, and that's why they've changed it 3 times in 7 days. So I just wouldn't recommend going down that route. Instead, you can use something like I'm showing you today, all right? So it's installing the gateway services. You can see we've set it up with Minimax 2.1 OAuth. And what you can see here is that you do get free access, and this is granted automatically once you sign up for the 7-day coding plan, right? So if you're using OpenClaw, you get free access to Minimax for 7 days, and you can use this for 7 days for free, right? Then we can choose to open in the web UI, hatch in TUI. It recommends that, so I'm going to go with that. Um, Thanks for the tip, but it still works. Yeah, it can work. Yeah, technically it could work. Yeah. Uh, Telegram's not been working for me. Honestly, I find Telegram very hit and miss these days, so I don't recommend it. Instead, we're going to carry on with this. Adam says, "What are you doing? We are setting up OpenClaw, the new version, for free, right? And again, you can use this for free with Kimi K2.5, or you can use it for free with Minimax 2.1, right? And you get both of them for free, as I'm showing you today. All right. So if we say, hey, hey, and we'll just check if it's awake. Fantastic. All right, we've already got this awake. That's beautiful. One thing that I did see Minimax were doing earlier is you could actually use, let's open this up, Minimax text to speech, it's called, right? And it says, ask your friendly neighborhood AI to create a skill for Minimax's newly released 2.8 speech model and start receiving voice messages. Now, when I actually set that up, that broke the whole process. So I wouldn't recommend it. All right. You can try this, but from what I've seen, it wasn't working so far. Let's just pull this up, see what they're doing here. So it says read through text to speech docs as well as this, create a Minimax CTS skill. Do you know what? I'm tempted to set that up. I'm tempted. Maybe we'll do that in a second. I'll bookmark that page. We might come back to it later. But yeah, apparently you can set up text to speech. It's just it broke my OpenClaw earlier. Lots of people is using Discord. Yeah, Discord is a pretty good one for using it. Did you see the Kimi? No, but I know you get it at free access to Kimi. Julian, have you tried all LMs in OpenClaw? Would you say Kimi does the same job as Opus? No, I wouldn't at all. I would say Opus 4.5 is still by far superior. Number one in the quality of responses, right? And number two in the personality, and number three in the actual capability of the model, right? And I'll give you an example. So, for example, if I connect to OpenClaw with Opus 4.5, it can open up programs locally for me, right? If I ask Kimi K2.5 to do the same thing, it can't do it, right? And so there is a difference in quality in terms of both of these. To what extent is Kimi K2.5 free? I've been using it with API for the last few days. Is there a better approach? Yeah, I'll show you. I'll come on to that in a second. And then Wilty says, how are we setting this up securely on our computer? So if you want to go full secure, check out inside the AI Profit Boardroom here. If you want to set this up secure, if you're worried about security, etc., go to the Malt Worker tutorial right here. Okay? The Malt Worker tutorial shows you exactly how to set this up via Cloudflare. And there's three good things about this. Number one, everything is siloed away. Number two is required for people to actually get an email verification code before they can try and log in. And number three, even when they try and log in, you have to approve anything, right? So that's probably the best thing that I've seen when it comes to hosting this securely. Anyone from India, shout out to you. And then Adam says, I just got access to Kimi code like 15 minutes ago, and it made me a Minecraft clone in 15 minutes. Pretty insane. All right. I don't know what Moderato is, but I don't think I've seen that. Just been 100% honest. So that's the first method, is using Minimax. Let's talk about the next method. So if you want to set up Kimi K2.5 with this model, we'll uninstall again, and I'll show you how to do this. All right. So let's go through the uninstallation here. I'm just going to press Control and C to cancel the setup. Then we're going to uninstall this. We'll say that. We'll say that. and then we'll go through the setup again to install this, right? The reason that I'm uninstalling and installing it again is just like to keep it clean. Otherwise, when it's switching APIs, it can break. It can break pretty easily, to be honest with you. So we're going to run through this in a second. Here we go. So now we'll clone the Git again. And then we're going to set up Kimi K2.5, all right? So we'll skip that for now. We're going to go with all providers. We'll keep the current as Minimax. We'll skip setting up the channel. No need to configure the skills. And then it's going to install the gateway service like you can see. Now that is still using Minimax. So what are we doing here? Well, what we're actually going to do is we're going to run Kimi K2.5 via the cloud model, which is free, using something called Olama, right? Now, if you're not sure what Olama is, you can install this for free. You just download it. It's a free application. And then you make sure you have Olama running like you can see. From there, what you want to do is open up Olama like this and make sure that you have Kimi K2.5 cloud running, right? Now, why would you want to use Kimi K2.5? Well, it's one of the most powerful open source free models that's just come out. It's pretty decent at coding, particularly at UI. It's not quite at the same level as Opus 4.5, even if you, for example, are using, even if, for example, you look at the benchmarks and that sort of thing, but it's still pretty decent, all right? Let's see what we got on the questions here. Works so good with Kimi. Don't know why people fuss about 4.5 Opus. You a handsome looking fella. Thank you very much, sir. All right, Bahada says, hey, bro. And then this topic says, I recently brought a new Mac Mini, but still haven't installed OpenClaw yet. I'm trying to make it as secure as possible. Yeah, so just use Maltworker. If you don't need to install it on a Mac Mini or anything like that, just use Maltworker. Keep it simple. All right. Waiting for mine. Am I using Mac OS 26.2? I don't think so. Let me have a look here. About this Mac, we are using, oh yeah, look at that. We are using 26.2. Yeah, there you go. Do I need to dedicate a computer to only run this program, nothing else? No, you don't, right? You can have this on your laptop. Whatever you use day to day, you can have Maltworker running. Sorry, Clawbot, Maltbot, OpenClaw, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so once we've done this, now we can run the CLI, as you can see. So I'm going to go inside terminal. We'll hash OpenClaw in TUI, like you can see. And then we're going to go over to the instructions from Kimi K2.5, like this. And what we're going to do from here is use these instructions to set up Olama. So let's get this party started. If you ever need to stop OpenClaw inside terminal, just press Control and C, and then you can paste the new instructions, right? Now from here, we're also going to use this with Olama, right? The quick setup is Olama launch OpenClaw. So if we go back to terminal here, make sure that we've got the latest version of OpenClaw, and then we're good to go. The Maltbot can work on Windows in full control with himself and make within reason, right? It only works with the stuff that you set up, and it's only as good as the user who sets it up. So you want to make sure that you are skilled in this. We have loads of training inside the AI Profit Boardroom on this sort of stuff. So if you want to learn from there, you can get it inside here. So if you go to Classroom and then you go to SOP updates, you can see that we're updating this daily with new trainings on Maltbook. We actually have a new course on Maltbook, as you can see right here. It's a 3-hour course on exactly how to set up Clawbot, Maltbot, OpenClaw, etc., based on what's working for me. Plus, we've got the full guide on setting up Olama, Minimax, OAuth, and everything else, right? We update this course daily. So we're going to go into terminal now, and we'll run Olama launch OpenClaw. All right, so now you can see that OpenClaw is launching with Kimi K2.5 Cloud, right? And the gateway has been configured with Olama. So if we open up this now, I'm going to say, hey, are you online? And then we're good to go. All right, and it says, yes, I'm online. What do you need, right? And so Canvy says, what about different models in the same time, like Codex for coding and Opus 4.5 as brain? Yeah, what you can say is inside OpenClaw here, use, for example, Minimax 2.1 by default, and then switch to Kimi K2.5 coding for coding tasks as a sub-agent. That's what I did, for example, with WordPress. What is this video about? It's about 2 free ways to set up OpenClaw with an API so that you don't run out of tokens and you can use this for free, right? So method number 1 that we covered was using Minimax, right? And method number 2 was using Kimi K2.5. And we've covered both of them today, and I've shown you exactly how to use both of them for free today, right? How is Minimax free? It's free for 7 days when you sign up with OAuth. How is Kimi K2.5 free? Because you're using Olama and running it locally via their cloud provider, right? So what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to say, we'll create a free guide on exactly how to do it. This topic says that's exactly how I'm planning to use it. Which free model should I use in open code? I can't even remember. Like last time I used open code was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was using either, I think it was Minimax or Kimi, one of those two. But I would go with either of those. They're pretty good. I'm using Kimi with API and it responds so slow. Your response is quick. Reckon that's the cloud. I was thinking the same. Do you know what, Simon? You brought up a fantastic point, right? This is really interesting. If you're using, I've used the Kimi coding API as well, and it was crazy slow. And I don't know if that's because it was just released recently. Maybe that's why. But for sure, it is way faster using the cloud model inside OpenClaw. So that is something to be aware of. And that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. What's the cheapest LLMs? Jamie says. So Jamie, if you want to use LLMs for free, just use Olama with Kimi K2.5, mate. No need to spend $25. And then Simon says, got the API from Moonshot, maybe where I went wrong. No insane title. Not today, my friend. And Simon says, nice, I'll swap over. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I do think this is really good. I mean, you just got to bear in mind, like there are usage limits on the cloud APIs as well. But if you've got Minimax and you've got Kimi K2.5 and they can switch over when you run out of tokens, like, you know, what's the problem? You got no problem there, right? Easy peasy. So that's basically how to set this up. What I've actually done is I've created this guide right here on how to set these both up with the terminal commands, the resources, etc. And what I want to do is I'm going to put it inside the SOP updates of the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. And you can see inside here, we've added a free video tutorial plus a step-by-step guide as a cheeky little extra inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you want to know how to set up OpenClaw for free so that you never have to complain about tokens again, then you can use Minimax or Kimi K2.5. Minimax is OAuth, Kimi K2.5 is Llama. Either way, you can use one of the best technologies in the world with AI for free using this. We've also got inside the AI Profit Boardroom, we have the full course on how to use Clawbot. That is completely free, and there's 3 hours of course training inside there. You've got updates every single day. So every time I learn something new about this software, I'll publish it directly inside the SAP updates here. And also, this is an amazing community where you can learn, win, and grow with AI, right? So if you want to learn this stuff, you can grow and post inside the community. You can be part of something amazing. We're all learning and growing together and sharing cool stuff. It's an amazing community where people are always online 24/7, so you can get help, get support, connect with cool people who are doing the same things as you. And I personally answer the questions inside there as well, right? So you can see, for example, inside here, I answer people as well inside the AI Profit Boarding. Top of that, you can see that you can jump on 4 weekly coaching calls, 4 weekly coaching calls where you can get help and get support whenever you want to. And then inside the classroom here, coding to fun says how you make and edit videos, right? So we actually make videos using the playbook inside the AI Profit Boardroom. As you can see right here, this is a full process on how we screen share and edit our videos with a step-by-step guide and a step-by-step tutorial, right? So if you want to learn the processes that we use for YouTube to grow our channel, it's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Top of that, you might be wondering, how do we grow an X following as well? How do we have such a following on X? For example, we reached 1,052,000 people yesterday, right, on X. We do it using this automation, right? So if you want to learn our full process, we have a full video tutorial right here that shows you exactly how we do it, right? All my best playbooks I personally use for my business are inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Top of that, there's a course right here that shows you how to learn AI automation, and it takes you from complete beginner to expert with AI in just 5 weeks. Plus, you'll learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you can learn how to get more clients with the agency course if that's what you're interested in. You can watch back the coaching course if you are if you can't make the live coaching calls. And then also here you can see how to rank with AI SEO. Now, with the AI SEO automations, we actually personally implement those into our business. So, for example, you can see our search traffic here. We actually went from 0 to 782 clicks per day with SEO. And if you want to learn and steal from us, you can learn the whole process right here. Additionally, if you want to learn how we're growing a YouTube channel, we've got a full 6-week roadmap inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or just go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Let's see what other questions we got here. Jamie says, I'm a muppet. When I tried to add Kimi last time, it said something along the lines of Claude only accepts a few LLMs. Yeah, it's updated a lot now, so you want to check it out again. This is why I create new video tutorials about it daily, because there's always something new and interesting coming out. Nick says, I've installed it about a dozen times over the last 2 weeks. Every method, Ubuntu, headless, Ubuntu 25, desktop, macOS, and Windows is by far the most difficult and clunkiest. Interesting. Well, you can use Maltworker either way, and then I think I installed Maltworker in like about 30 minutes. I've got a live tutorial about it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. I don't understand its use case. I have installed it under Docker to secure my system. Yeah, nice. And then instead of setting up manually, ask Cursor to do its magic for you. That is more easy and fast. Yeah, I would agree. The same with Claude Code as well. You can get Claude Code to help you set it up as well. Hey, what's the spec of your VPS server are you using to run the Kimi K2.5? Right, so we're using Olama to run Kimi K2.5, right? So Olama runs this locally, then we install Kimi K2.5 cloud model, and then boom shakalaka, you're off to the races. So it's not on a VPS, and I do not recommend installing OpenClaw on a VPS. And Tan says, what is your opinion about Sonnet 5 with 1 million context window and about and GPT 5.3 coming this week. I mean, if Claude has a 1 million context window, that's going to be fantastic. We do have a video coming out about Claude Sonnet 5 pretty soon, so it's exciting times. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, should be good. All right. So the other thing that I want to test is OpenClaw and WordPress, as you can see right here. So I want to try this out. And what we can actually do, I think, is we can set up WordPress directly with OpenClaw using agent skills. So, for example, here we've got this. How much virtual RAM needs to run Kimi K2.5? Not actually sure. I'm not technical, but why don't you think standard auth will fix the whole clawbot thing? I think you just got to be careful. I think it's actually it's against Anthropic's guidelines if you use OAuth with clawbot, so wouldn't recommend it. What do you think about how we can use it for business? I have a courier business, but the point is I have to give access to my apps, which I really don't want to do. It sends everything to AI, right? So if you want to see how we use AI for our business, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. But for example, you can use Clawbot, and I have a full course on it inside here that shows you how to use it, for example, for publishing blog posts to WordPress, for using this for AI SEO, for creating AI avatar videos, for creating voice notes in the clone version of your voice, for sending emails, creating animations, coding out custom domains. I mean, here's an example of a website we created and deployed using OpenClaw, right? And this website was fully created, like written, coded, deployed to the AI Profit Boardroom using a combination of OpenClaw with Netlify's personal token, right? So we gave it my personal access token to Netlify, and then it deployed this whole website, designed it as well. And it's ranking #1 on Google, I think, for that keyword. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so we're ranking #1 for AIProfitBoardroom.com. Yeah, pretty simple and easy using that full process. So yeah, it's amazing what it can do. You can do so many cool stuff. How would you go at this? Yeah, so I mean, I've shown you how to do it for free. You don't need to set up anything like that. Anti-gravity OAuth stopped working. Yeah, wouldn't recommend anti-gravity OAuth at all. I don't think it's very good for that. All right, so we've got the WordPress GitHub here with the agent skills. We've got my WordPress website over here, and we have OpenClaw set up over here, right? So what we're going to do from here is we're going to try installing the agent skills repo and then seeing if it can improve my WordPress website or seeing what it can do. All right. So I'm going to say, okay, let's go with that. It will take a little while to respond simply because it is installing this right now, I think. So it will take a bit of time. And now you can see we've installed these skills, right? So for example, setting up all this stuff, right? And then it says, okay, next connect to your WordPress website. What's the setup, blah, blah, blah. And what we can do is say, right, okay, it's hosted at juliangoldie.com. What's the next step? And we're going to go, right? Simon says, how do you get multiple OpenClaws to work? Does each one have to be in a separate instance? Mine want to talk to each other and keep crashing. Yeah, you would just have separate instances. So you can run them locally, or you could set one up, for example, in Maltworker, another one inside your terminal, and then they could talk to each other as well. So that's another option. The final option is like you could connect them all to Maltbook, and then they could talk to each other via Maltbook, right? We've got a full course in setting all this stuff up, by the way. So if you want to learn how we set up Maltworker, how we set up Kimi K2.5 with OpenClaw, how we attach Maltbook to it, all this stuff is inside the AI Profit Boardroom link in the comments description. Simon says, I think you already answered this, but if you use Kimi with Llama Cloud, as it's in theory running locally, do you run out of credits? So eventually you can run out of credits with Kimi K2.5. I've not come across that issue so far because it's running via a cloud model on a Llama, but no issues so far, like I said. So if you go back to OpenClaw now, it has already got the skills installed. We've got 3 options for installing this. So we can give the WordPress CLI option, the WordPress REST API option, or an existing skill. So I'm going to say, can you use the existing skill? See if that works. Simon says, my OpenClaw is too young and naive to go play with those lot in Maltbook. Maybe when they grow up. Well, there you go. The cloud Llama models are limited, and how do they compare? Well, we're using them right now, and it's no issue, right? So we need to connect this right now, as you can see. So I'm just going to do that in a sec. I'll go full screen. If you have any questions whilst we're running through this as well, feel free to ask. What's interesting is Hack says, you know, the cloud and Llama models, are they limited? How do they compare, right? So what we're actually seeing is the cloud models tend to reply quicker, right, than using, for example, like Kimi coding normally. So I've actually found better results and faster results using the cloud model via Llama for Kimi instead of using Kimi coding, right? And Kimi coding is paid, but Llama with Kimi K2.5 via the cloud is free. All right, so I'm just going to set this up 1 second. What else we got here? What do you think about Maltbook? Maltbook's pretty crazy. I set it up over the weekend. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I loved it. I do think you got to be careful with that stuff, but it kind of seemed like the closest thing I've ever seen to the singularity. Honestly, it was absolutely wild seeing what was going on there. Dehan says, so Kimi K2.5 with Llama works only if Clawbot is running locally. So it's the other way around, really. Is like Llama is running locally, and you're using a cloud API, right? And then, you know, for example, you could be running that on a separate laptop, and then you can access Clawbot through your phone on Telegram or whatever. Where's the best place to find skills to give OpenClaw which are safe? Well, that's kind of a trick question, because if you're giving access, one second. If you're giving access to Clawbot skills and you're using, for example, GitHub, well, that's a really bad way, right? I wouldn't install any skills that you're not comfortable with, that you haven't checked out properly. I'm doing this for fun, but I'll probably uninstall it in a second. But like, if you haven't checked the skills MD files properly, don't install it, right? So you want to make sure, for example, if you have a look inside the GitHub here, you can check out the skills for each of these, and then you can look and say, okay, like, is this skills MD file like right for me to install? Should I install it or not? Right. So you can see an example right here. And then when you check out the skills MD file, what you can also do is run it through Claude and just say, like, is this safe to install or not? Right. Claude will be better at distinguishing that versus anything else. So the bet I always find, like, yeah, check it first, run it through Claude first with the skills MD file. If you're not sure, don't install it. And then if you want something that's more customized and better, I would just, I would go with creating your own skill that does something similar. So this is authenticated with REST API, like you can see. And now I'm going to say, okay, write a blog post about connecting Minimax 2.1 OAuth. I'm going to research Minimax 2.1 OAuth with OpenClaw first, then write a blog post about connecting Minimax 2.1 OAuth with OpenClaw and how to do it. There we go. Hakeem says, or you can ask OpenClaw to check if it's safe for you. Yeah, I just wouldn't ask OpenClaw directly. I would just use something like Claude, because I trust Claude more, to be honest. Just set it up via Llama with Moonshot API as a fallback model. I'll see how it compares. Yeah, there you go. Farouk says, hey. And then No says, are you walking while streaming? Super distracting. If you can't get your fitness in on your own time when you have an avatar creating content already, I mean, it's up to you. Like, if for me, I'm just creating content. I do think that one of the biggest issues that I see with people who work online and have a business is that they're not active enough. They don't stay fit. They don't look after their health. If I'm not active and I don't have energy, then I can't create these streams and help people, right? So it's really important, I think, to stay active. And if you don't like that, I don't understand. No hard feelings. So it's going to begin researching and then creating the blog post for us. Might take like 1 or 2 minutes to do that. Whilst we're waiting for that, if you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boarding. We've got a 3-hour course on how to set this stuff up, including how I publish blog posts directly to WordPress using OpenClaw. You can do it all for free using this method right here that I've given a step-by-step guide for, and this one too. And also, you can see here that we've got a full guide on how to set up Minimax plus Kimi K2.5. With OpenClaw. So feel free to get that link in the comments description, or just go to the AIprofitboarding.com. You get all this cool stuff as well. Army says, can we create a full app using Clawbot? You can indeed. And you can deploy it using something like Netlify. Hakeem said, do this on your own time. And it is his own time. And he's doing this. Something like that. I appreciate that, Hakeem. Thank you. Bro, you inspired me to get a walking setup like this too. Shout out to you, Simon. That's what I'm talking about. Just take care of your, take care of your health. It's important, right? Health comes first. So Dystopic says, I can't find that folder in the school community, right? Here's how you do it. So you go to the AR profit boardroom, make sure you're in the right school community in the first place. Then you're going to go to the classroom here, go to SOP updates 2026, and then you can see the details right here. February 2026 is a folder. This is where you want to be looking right now. Elwood says, my Kimi lied to me, told me Llama was set up to code, but it set itself up instead. Wrote code in chat to lie about it. Yeah, I mean, like, these AI models like Kimi K2.5, like I mentioned, they're not as good as something like Opus 4.5. And even Opus 4.5 still gets things wrong. So we've created this as a blog post, like you can see, using the WordPress CLI skill, which is pretty nice. And then if I hit publish like this, dystopic SOP updates is not there. Make sure it's the right one. I'm just following you. Are you in the AR profit boardroom? Dystopic. If you want, you can send me a screenshot on school. But you can see SOP updates right there, right? Like just make sure you go to the classroom. So you want to go community, classroom at the top. And if you still can't find it, just send me a direct message and we'll help you out. But it's literally right there. Or what's your username on, if you tell me your username on the AR Profit Boardroom, I can make sure that you've definitely got access to it. Ah, there we go. There we go, dystopic. That's it. You want to be in the AR Profit Boardroom, mate. Get yourself in there. Yeah, step number one, make sure you're in the right school group if you want to get this stuff. Don't worry about it, mate. It happens to us all. And says, I got it now. Cheers. I'm glad you got access. That's good. Now, if we actually go over to the WordPress website whilst waiting for that to publish. So this is the website itself. We'll do /login. Then we'll go to our posts. And you can see it's organized the page properly as well. Like H4s, for example, it's got the links inside the content as well. It's got these CTA callouts like this to our funnels that are pre-built within the skill. It's quite a nice blog post. Floyd Mayweather says, how do we access the new updates for Clawbot? I went to that doc site you mentioned, but it looked nothing like the page. Check out the instructions inside the AR Profit Boardroom. So if you go inside the classroom here, go to SOP updates. We've got a full guide on how to set up OpenClaw with the new updates, right? So you just want to make sure that you set up OpenClaw. You can always, if you've got a config file from the old installed version, you can export any MD files that Clawbot has created. And then from there, you can export those and set them up inside OpenClaw, right? And just have the new version ready. That's the way that I would do it. Bear in mind, Clawbot is the old name. Maltbot is the old name. OpenClaw is the new name, right? That's what all the new cool people are calling it. Okay, it's changed its name 3 times in 7 days. Giga says, "Are you on a treadmill?" I am indeed, sir. Bro is always on a treadmill, mate. 24/7, 24/7 on the treadmill. Now, usually I get about 30,000 steps is kind of my limit, and at that point, I'm like, I don't need to do more. I mean, bear in mind, I also train. This is taking ages. Bear in mind, I also train Muay Thai twice a week for 2 hours each time, so that's 4 hours of Muay Thai each week. And then also I do weights 4 times a week as well. So we've got the page published right here. This is the Minimax 2.0 auth setup with OpenClaw, as you can see. And then we've published that content right there. Guitar Anime says, what LLM are you using? So we're using Kimi K2.5 with Olama right now. And JReb says, I'm quite new to all things AI other than ChatGPT. I've been learning more about OpenClaw recently. I want to know, what would you do or learn to go from beginner to expert? All right, so if you want to learn how to go from beginner to expert, check out the beginner to expert course inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So if you go inside here, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com, right? Go to the classroom. This comes with loads of cool stuff like coaching and community, all that sort of thing. But I would recommend watching this, going from complete beginner here to expert in just 5 weeks, right? And you can learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. So that's the way that I would do it. And yeah, this will teach you everything that you need to know. I mean, for example, if we have a look inside the win section of the AI Profit Boardroom, you can see some of the wins right here. So Paul created his first NA10 automation. RPX created his first ChatGPT outline generator. Loads of people winning with AI. So if you want to learn how to do it, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description. And Timed Wardson says treadmill. It is indeed. So waiting for that to load. Yoast SEO. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, honestly, it's not great, but we got to do it sometimes. And then if we go inside here, we can add the HTML for this page. So let's do that. And then we've got the page set up like this. So this is the full process on setting up Minimax with, and then it's got some nice call outs here. So for example, you can see here, said like want to master AI for SEO, blah, blah, blah. Join the AI profit boarding right here. So it's automated the blog post itself, shows us how to set up Minimax. It's got CTAs to my free SEO strategy session as well. That was pretty easy to set up. And we've linked that all directly inside the WordPress blog. So there we go. That is how to use Minimax directly with this. Gega says, impressive, healthy body, healthy life choices. That's it. Shlomo says, bro, looks like you just had 5 coffees, lol. I mean, I think I do have a lot of energy, undeniably. I have a lot more energy than most people, for sure. Basically, with AI, you can make far better web pages, more customizable, and insights, blah, blah, blah. You can do more better SEO, just a tip from a web dev. This stuff has been keeping me up at night, so I look about the same. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. It's the most interesting it's been in AI for a long time. Only thing I'm worried about with OpenClaw is API tokens. Yeah, so you can use Malt Worker, all right? So go inside the classroom here, go to SP updates, and then set up Malt Worker if you're worried about this stuff, right? Malt Worker basically silos everything off, and you authorize anything before people can access it. So that's like a better way to set this up if you're worried about that stuff. Is there any local LLM that can work with OpenClaw? The most close. Did you see if you haven't already, check it out. We've got a full setup guide on Minimax and Olama with Kimi K2.5. So if you want to set up local models with OpenClaw, just follow that guide inside the AI profit boarding. Maltbook and them talking is what keeping me awake at night. Yeah, I would agree. Maltbook is crazy stuff. Does an LLM exist that is only logical but has little word knowledge and can use small tools? So basically, it's logically capable but small. You can use small models like Gemma 3B, Gemma 4B, and you can install that locally via Olama. We wait for the next same in 2 to 3 days. That's it. I got a new Mac Mini M4 today. Congrats. I love Mac Minis. I actually got a Mac Studio recently. It's beautiful. Are there any specific skills that our school members are creating with? Yeah, so you want to be if you want like a skill and you want to be 100% secure, then don't install anyone else's, right? Just create your own and then you can save them. And then Floyd says to access the updates in their school site of yours in the AI Profit Boardroom. That's it. Just go to the AI Profit Boardroom. Pete just dropped a new update. Is that newer? Like brand new? That must be way new. And then Guitar Anime says Kimi is not local. It is running locally with Olama, my friend. So it's a cloud model, but we run it locally with Olama. So it just came out recently. And you can see Kimi K2.5 here. And you can use Kimi K2.5 with Olama. So you can run it locally. All right. How to make OpenClaw more secure. Check out the guide on Malt Worker inside the AI Profit Boardroom. This one. Check it out. What else we got here? Open models with OpenClaw and a MS-OS Mini, not Apple. Connect 3 together. Interesting. How to make OpenClaw. We just answered that, mate. But yeah, check out the Malt Worker step-by-step guide and how I set it up inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? That's probably the most secure way to set this up. Is there actually no way is there another update on Maltbook? I'd be interested to see if that's true. Let's have a look here. If that's true, I can't keep up, mate. Cannot keep up. Let's see. So we've got Peter Steinberger. Let's see what updates we got. Wow. There we go. Interesting. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Dahindia. You're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you for posting that. So he says, been spending quite a bit of time making Claw Hub more secure. You can now report skills, and only people with a GitHub account that's not brand new can upload skills. That's great. That's really good. And then you can go on here, and then you can see here that they've added more interesting information, because you have to be careful, right? If you install someone else's skill, and then you set that up, you don't know what that skill is about unless you've read the full skill MD file and tested it yourself. So you have to be careful. How do you update the already running Clawbot? Tried, but it's still the same version. So the way that I do it is just to uninstall it. Do you know what? If you want the guide on how to uninstall it, let me find that for you. I'll put it inside the Clawbot guide. I'll show you how to set this up, all right? So we'll pop it down here. There you go. All right. So if you want to uninstall OpenClaw and then reinstall it, we've got the full process right there inside the AI Profit Boarding. That's exactly what I was hoping for. A verified system. His update directly addresses that. Yeah, it still doesn't fix it completely, right? Like, if it's the difference here is like you can report skills. Okay, that's great, but it makes things a little bit too late. And then also only people with a GitHub account that's not brand new can upload skills. Now, the problem with that is like, there could be bad actors from before, with older GitHub accounts. But yeah, it's great that he's trying to address it and improve it for sure. I'm going to chain 3 to 4 together for my business. 1 marketing, 1 coding, 1 customer service, and 1 model does AI training, possibly training a model on a server. Nice. And Ravi says, I'm trying for 2 days, but still the local chat and OpenClaw isn't working for me. Not sure what's the mistake. Check out my earlier setup guide, or just go to the AI Profit Boarding and we show you how to set it up. I literally set it up from scratch today just to show people with Minimax and Kimi K2.5. So there's 2 different options for that. So that's basically it. Now, what we're going to do from here is we are going to try setting up text to speech with OpenClaw. But before we do that, let's answer some of these questions. How long have you been using OpenClaw? Ever since it came out. What is your opinion in a nutshell right now? It's pretty amazing. Probably the most crazy and interesting AI I've used. And I've spent thousands of hours testing all of this stuff. So I absolutely love it. I do think you need to be careful when you set up, but you have to be careful setting up anything when it comes to AI. And then Tax says, I have got Mac Mini M4 and I was wondering if I need to log in iCloud or use with no Apple ID since OpenClaw read all your files. Yeah, so you can do it without iCloud if you want. Like, for example, this laptop right here, it doesn't have iCloud installed. Yeah, so you don't have to install that. If you want to be more secure, just, and also bear in mind, like, for anyone watching, if you want to be as secure as possible, just set up more worker. That's the easiest way, right? Got a full guide inside the Profit Boarding right here. So let's get back to this. We're going to set up OpenClaw with Minimax right here. So what we're going to do is use a speech 2.8 model, and then we can start receiving voice messages in over 300 voices across 40 languages, right? So it's going to be quite interesting to set this up. You can actually get free access to Minimax 2.5 and Minimax 2.1, which is pretty simple. And then Pippo says, what do you reckon on securing it solid? Do I need to install VPN? No, just use a Malt Worker, like I was saying. So we're going to start setting this up. The way that I'm going to do this, and before I do, I just need to set something up as well. I'm going to uninstall. Maybe I can actually, do you know what? I'm going to try something else. So I'm going to go on here. I'm going to take this like so. I'm going to take that screenshot. Like this. And I go over to Claude. And we're going to type that out. Oh, Claude is being super slow. Let's go to ChatGPT. All right. Type this out, and then we'll give that to OpenClaw in a second. And then I'll have to run through the daemon to set up Telegram with OpenClaw as well, which I'll do in a sec as well. So let's take this. And I'm just going to switch over the API first to Minimax 2.1 before we set up text-to-speech. So let's run through this. So you can see we're logging in with Minimax 2.1. Bear in mind, if you're using Minimax 2.1 in the OAuth, you automatically get 7 days free with OpenClaw to use it and test it out. And then we can get a key in a second, but we should have OpenClaw ready to go. So we're going to stick with that. Then I need to set up my Telegram bot API, which I will do. Oh, it's already set up. We should be okay there. and then we'll restart the service. And then I'm just going to ask, okay, what API are you using? Noam says, I run OpenClaw locally. Is it okay if I share my credentials with it so I can use them? Only if you're comfortable with that, right? Like, don't share anything you're not comfortable with. If you're unsure, don't do it. Malt Worker does spin down. Have you adjusted settings to keep it running continuously? No, I just shut it down when I'm not using it. And then Mr. Quixote says, just set up OpenClaw yesterday on my old MS Service Pro. Works like a charm even on Windows. It's already joined Maltbook. Now I just need good use cases for it. Yeah, if you want to see some good stuff that we've done, check it out here. So, for example, some of the cool stuff that we did with it, we published blog posts directly to WordPress and ranked them on Google. We use it as an AI SEO agent. We communicate with it via messaging apps like Telegram. We can create AI avatar videos and edit them with Remotion. We can create voice notes in the clone version of my voice. So, for example, I could say, oh, I'm going to Japan. Give me a voice note where I learn all the most important stuff and all the most important words for traveling in Japan, right? Send emails, organize my calendar, create animations, host it with Alama, hook it up to Notion, code websites, and also monitor my competitor YouTube channels automatically. And then every time there's a competitor that does better than normal, ping me in the chat with a video idea, right? That's some of the cool stuff you can do with it. Does Malt Worker require API keys versus OAuth and subscriptions? I think you can use both because you set it up in the same way, right? So yeah, you can just use both. Pippa says, good content, man. Gotta go, but we'll check your stream later again. Thanks very much. And then did you just reinstall? Yeah, I did because I was using Kimi K2.5 and I was like, "Oh, I'll just reinstall, right? So we're going to do this again now. It's still got the config files. It's just changing the APIs. Now you can see it's running with Minimax and the Minimax TTS skill is ready. So you can see here it set it all up, which is pretty awesome. And then you can see it's online and connected to Telegram. Perfect. So I'm going to give it the API details right here to set up text to speech. Hopefully that works. What do you think about using 11 Labs voices? Pretty good, pretty good. But this is a free text to speech model, right? Because we've got free access for 7 days. Can you discuss a little how this OpenClaw compares to Claude Code CLI when doing an external task? And then, well, I mean, like the thing is, it's way more autonomous, right? Like, for example, if you're using something like Claude Code, well, Claude Code has never like created AI avatar videos in the chat for me. It's never generated thumbnail images in the chat. It's never logged into WordPress and created blog posts, right? It's just a lot more autonomous. I heard that Maltbot isn't good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so you can use Maltworker like I was mentioning. Can we use OpenRouter APIs? You can, but they're not very good when I test it out. I would recommend instead Minimax or Kimi K2.5 if you want better models for that. And Aranya says, Moonshot's a deal where you chat with Kimi. Yeah, but you can get Kimi for free, mate. You don't need to pay for it. You can get it for free using Olama instead, which is something that I've covered in this module right here inside the AI Profit Boardroom, right? So if you want to learn how to set up Olama with Kimi K2.5, then you don't need to pay for tokens. That's how you can do it, right? Much better. So now we're going to connect the API key, which I'm going to do in the background. So to get the API key, we just need to go back to my Minimax profile and then click on Get Your Key. So we'll do that in a second. What we got inside the chat here? Oh, wow, I'll check it out. Happy to help. How to set up OpenRouter API key, just grab a free API key for a free API inside OpenRouter, and then you can set it up in the daemon. Do you know of any flat rate virtual servers? No, I don't recommend using virtual private servers, honestly, for Clawbot. I don't think it's particularly good, mate, to be honest with you. So you can see that we've got TTS set up now inside here. So if we say, it says, can you use your existing Minimax TTS? You've already got the API. And I'm just going to see on X how they set it up. So let's have a look here. So we've got the TTS set up. That should be good to go. So it's ready for the API key. We need to create a new key inside here. So if we go to Minimax, you need to create a secret key here, which we'll do in a sec. And then I've said ready for TTS, mate. Let's see what it says. See if it's ready. It did say we asked about TTS before. Are you ready? We'll try this out inside the chat here. It is super slow to reply as well. Is there any AI model for app development in OpenCode or Anti-Gravity? Yeah, just use Anti-Gravity's default, like Gemini Flash, Claude Opus, etc. Pixel Princess Twitch says, yo, what's going on? So today we are setting up text-to-speech with OpenClaw, like you can see, using Minimax 2.1. So we should be able to create voice notes inside Clawbot using the instructions from Clawbot. So we're just working on that right now. And Rhea says Flash is cooked. I really like it. I've done a lot of good tests, but if you don't want to use Flash inside anti-gravity, then you can use something like Opus 4.5, which is another free API inside anti-gravity. Minimax is cooking right here. Let's see what it comes back with. So it's working on the new skill, which is Minimax TTS. So we can see the logs here. And it says Minimax TTS is working, audio saved here. And then we have this right here, okay? So I think we've created the text-to-speech. Let's try this out. Is that a real person who's typing? Bruh, it's taking forever, lol. Yeah, so that is the AI. Flash is a no-no. A lot of hate for Flash today. All right, I'm gonna say how to navigate to this locally. So just to recap for anyone who's trying to understand what we're doing. Basically, we have created a voice note using TTS from Minimax. Minimax is a free API you can run with OpenClaw, and now we can create voice notes inside the chat of Claudebot, right? So if I say, okay, create a quick voice note plus send it here in the chat, it should be able to do it. And you can see it's created a voice note right there. There we've got the voice note. Let's play this back. So let's just play this back. Play this back once more. And that is it. That is how to connect Minimax voice for free inside OpenClaw so that it can talk to you with voice notes, right? Pretty simple and easy. Literally all you do is you copy that prompt that I gave you today. You give that to OpenClaw inside the chat. You connect it with something like Telegram that can send voice notes. Don't use the gateway. And then you add your API key from Minimax. Now, if you want a full setup guide, let's say we'll create a setup guide. So if you want to steal this stuff from me, you can using the prompts that I'm showing today. So you got the full setup guide inside the AI profit boarding right here, along with the prompts. If you want to see the prompt that I used earlier, let me just find that for you. So here's the prompt to use, and you want to make sure you have Minimax 2.1 connected with OAuth, which is free. All right, so that's step number one. Step number two is the prompt. And then step number three, give it the API key, plus ask it to create voice notes. All right, so just to recap, you can now use voice notes with Minimax 2.1 for free using the OAuth. All you do is you make sure you have Minimax connected with OAuth. Then you're going to use this prompt right here to set that up. And then finally, you're going to make sure that you give it the API key and ask it to create voice notes. And that is how you can create voice notes in the chat using OpenClaw right here. So all the notes from today are inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And now we have the power to create voice notes anytime we want using Minimax, as you can see. If you want to get the prompts from today and the setup guide, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Also comes with a 3-hour course on how to use Maltbot. You can also, for example, learn how to connect Kimi K2.5 locally with Olama and OpenClaw. Also how to use Minimax OAuth, and also how to set up Maltworker so that you can use it more securely. Also got other automations like you can see right here on how to use OpenClaw. And this is all inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or just go to aiprofitboardroom.com. All right. Brody says, I've just jumped on. Hey, mate, can you help a sales agent to get #1 on Google Ad search and get more booked appraisals? Yeah. I mean, like, for example, you can see our website here. It went from like 0 clicks a day all the way up to 782 clicks a day for free with AI SEO. This is for my SEO agency website, juliangolder.com. So feel free to either book in a free call there or inside the AI Profit Boardroom to the classroom, and you'll get our best playbooks on AI SEO automation right here, along with my best tips on YouTube, how to get more clients for your agency, how to go from beginner to expert with AI. And also you'll get all my best playbooks for avatar videos, X automations, Instagram, etc. inside here too. You can also jump on 4 weekly coaching calls per week if you need help and support. And you can check out the community right here. Now, we have over 118 pages of testimonials from happy people inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So it's not just me winning, like loads of people are getting awesome results with this stuff. If you want to get the same processes, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description. You can also, for example, check out We have a daily accountability group here and all sorts of cool stuff. Flavin says, what's the best TikTok scraper to find trends and hooks on TikTok? I would recommend using Apify. And then please do a step-by-step installation of OpenClaw on Windows. Who's using Windows, mate? That's what I want to know. I don't use Windows. I'm not going to do a step-by-step guide on it. But if you want to know how to set it up using Windows, one of the probably the simplest ways is just use Maltworker, right? You can set up Maltworker. I do have a full step-by-step guide and video tutorial inside the AI Profit Boardroom on exactly how to do that, right? And Brody says, nice, I will jump on and have a look. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for watching. See you on the next one, peeps. Cheers. Bye-bye.